My name is Ian Utilli. I'd like to welcome you to the Global Puerto Rico Summit. I'm very glad that you are joining us right now, and we're going to have a really fun time over the course of the next 4 hours. Why 4 hours? I mean, I guess the response is that Facebook will cut off our live stream video if we go over 4 hours. Maybe I'd go longer. Maybe I'd do 12 hours of interviews and finding out about Puerto Rico. The truth is, I live in Santa Cruz, California, south of San Francisco, and I am selfishly doing this event. I have fallen in love with Puerto Rico. I'm moving one or more of my companies here. People that are on my team that I work with are moving here. And I just think this is the most amazing place on a bunch of different spheres, right? I think that this place is impacting art. I think it's impacting media. It's impacting philanthropy and families. It's impacting, of course, business, education, and government. So every sphere of society is being impacted today, and I think as time goes on, will continue to be impacted here in Puerto Rico. Where I'm at is Old San Juan, and I went live today on this rooftop overlooking the governor's mansion, kind of the White House of Puerto Rico and the amazing bay. Then I walked the streets with one of my business mentors, Jody Rich, who I'll be bringing in for an interview in a bit of time. And we walked the streets. So if you go back to Twitter or Facebook or YouTube, what you can see is you can see a couple live streams, right? A brief one on the rooftop and then a more long form version that was kind of walking the streets and talking about Puerto Rico and our outside perspective. Two different guys, two different generations, different experiences, talking about, as outsiders, what we're feeling as we're here. And so let me just tell you what I do feel. When I first landed here 3 weeks ago, it was for an exploratory trip. Brock Pierce, he's a magnet. He's so charismatic. I met him at CES, and he just made me feel like I got to come to Puerto Rico, right? All these people are coming here. Of course, there's the tax benefits, but there's an amazing ecosystem for new startups. It's an amazing place to live. There's incredible connection for those that are moving here. 2,000 people have moved here under the Act 22, which is a massive benefit for personal taxes for those that are graced enough to have tax problems. Then Act 20 for businesses. That's what I'm most interested in. Moving a business here, you pay 4% tax as a corporation. So people that move here themselves and their business, they get the best of both worlds. So 2,000 people have already moved here, and there's 2,000 more that have applied to move here as well. And so I want to know why. I want to know what's so amazing about this place. So I spent time here 3 weeks ago, made a lot of great friends. And now I've been here I got here at 3 a.m. yesterday. I came from Consensus in New York, Consensus 2019 by CoinDesk, which is the largest blockchain conference in the world. 4,600 people were registered there. Several thousand more come for Blockchain Week in New York. And I was blown away by the ecosystem that is decentralized, focused on things like NFTs, non-fungible tokens, which we'll talk a bit more about today because I think it's going to be a big part of the Puerto Rico ecosystem, and all things cryptocurrency, and of course, generally you could just say the distributed ledger tech, right? This third-party system that will be transformative. It's the new cloud. It's as important, if not more important, than the internet, at least in my opinion, and that's one of the things I care most about is what I think. And so I'm here to tell you about what I think, but I'm really here to tell you about what others think about Puerto Rico. I call this the Global Puerto Rico Summit because it sounds big and grand and important. And who doesn't want to be a part of something bigger than themselves? That's what I want. I want to be a part of a summit that's bigger than me and a camera. And this is so much more than just me and a camera. I will have people coming through for interviews that I respect. When they speak, I listen. And also, we are prototyping a new form of live streaming. As you look in the past hour and a half when we live streamed on the rooftop and walking through the streets, we had an amazing high-def camera system, wireless audio. The camera's not plugged in. Our internet was not plugged in. We were literally roaming the streets of Old San Juan, Puerto Rico, live streaming in clear quality all over this area. That's a very revolutionary thing, and it really ties in very closely to the product that I've been working on, which is a live podcasting product. Imagine the day when you can grab your phone and say, hey, Google Assistant, hey, Alexa, I want to go live by myself or with my friend, and you can go live on the spot to Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, but also to Spotify, and also through Alexa and through Assistant and through these new decentralized platforms, and all automated. And that's the product we've been working on. And a lot of the events are really our place to prototype this technology. I'll be back with my first interview in just a moment. Thank you so much for your attention. My name is Ian Utilli. I'm here with my friend, Jody Rich. And if you tuned into the live stream from about an hour or two ago, you saw us walking through the city.
It was beautiful.
Wasn't that fun?
Yeah.
And it was amazing that we were live streaming that wirelessly, unplugged. I thought it'd be fun to start with you because the first topic we're covering on this live stream is how is Puerto Rico impacting and being impacted by art and entertainment. And I feel like you are one of the revolutionary technologists and CEOs when it comes to art and entertainment because of what you're doing currently with NFTs. So I thought, let's just hit the ground running. Also, you provided something very special to the live stream audience.
The swag bag.
That's right.
The virtual digital asset.
That's right.
NFT swag bag.
Yes. So why don't you tell people about this virtual swag bag, right? We are having a global summit in this place, the Monastery Art Suites, with Brock Pierce and friends. And we're here in Old San Juan. But the audience is not a room full of thousands of people or even hundreds of people. The audience is specifically a global audience, right? We have people from 12 different regions around the world that have signed up, all over North America, the West Coast, Midwest, East Coast, the Central America, South America, all over the Caribbean, and then even over into Europe, Africa, and Asia. So, with this amazing audience that's both watching live and the archive,
Hello, everyone.
the swag bag's only available to you today. So if you're watching live, this is your moment. We're giving away AirPods.
Yep.
We're giving away crypto kitties to a ton of people and many other things. Can you talk a bit about what is it like for your company to create a whole new way of basically saying thank you to an audience for tuning in?
Well, it used to be that the audience actually had to physically be at the event.
Yes.
And you'd go away with a plastic bag of paper and stuff.
Right.
And most of it you'd throw away.
That's right.
So what we've done is we've wrapped up all sorts of amazing digital assets in what's called non-fungible tokens.
Yeah.
So we've wrapped up a right to spend time with you, a crypto kitty, and anyone online can claim this virtual swag bag.
Yeah.
And actually go away with things that have real value. And instead of throwing away the things they don't want, guess what? They could sell them in a marketplace if they
Right.
wanted to. So how cool is that? And we can do that from anywhere in the world.
Right.
And here we are in Puerto Rico. So
Right.
we can do that from Puerto Rico.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so what you do is you go to claim.futurecastswag.live. Now you might be watching this video right now on Facebook because you went to futurecastpr.live because that domain should forward to the Facebook page. Or maybe you're on Twitter, Periscope watching, or YouTube. But this is a different domain. So to be really clear one last time, claim.futurecastswag.live allows you to go to the place where they can redeem the swag bag. They get the ticket for this event.
Yes.
They might win a crypto kitty, which would be fun.
Yeah.
Can you talk about crypto kitties and what Dapper Labs has created? Because this topic is art and entertainment, and crypto kitties is both art and entertainment, all facilitated through the industry that you are leading the charge on.
So a crypto kitty is a virtual asset or a beautiful picture of a kitty that is much more than a kitty. It's actually something that has its own DNA. So when you breed it with another one of the kitties, they actually make baby kitties that come in an egg, which is sort of a bit weird, but then they hatch into little baby kitties.
Yes.
And then you can breed those again. And I heard last week that there's actually one person who's making a profession out of breeding these kitties. Guess how many kitties that person has now?
How many kitties does this one person have? I'm going to guess, if you're doing it manually, I'm going to guess under 10,000. If he's doing it automated, I'm going to guess as many as...
That's huge.
Is it?
That's huge. I mean, if there were real kitties, how many could you have in your house?
Like a couple dozen at most.
Yeah, and they'd be all over the place. You'd be tripping on them everywhere.
I'm ambitious, so I'm like, okay, how do I make this happen?
Okay, this person has 141,000 kitties.
Moly.
And is making a business out of breeding these virtual cats.
Wow.
Amazing, hey?
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Now
And he could do that from anywhere in the world, including Puerto Rico.
That's right.
Or up on the space station if he wanted to.
On the rooftop here?
Yes.
In the ballroom where we're at here? That he could be walking around, and you know, apparently you can just work from anywhere today.
And he doesn't have to feed them.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So that is specific to the whole entire topic of art and entertainment, because gaming, of course, is entertainment and art. Well, NFTs cover the game, entertainment and arts concept. For the region of Puerto Rico, for you as a leader, when you look at a place like the guy that I interviewed with yesterday, he is on the team at the Ethereum Foundation.
Can I just come back to your last question for a minute?
Yes.
Because the kitty example it shows us how we can manifest something in our minds. We can create it digitally, and then we can register it and share it with other people. And that is so powerful. Anyone can do it. We're working with an amazing artist in Portland, Chaz Martin, who is taking his artwork and putting it on a token, putting it in a physical representation of a card, and giving those cards out to his fans, and they can comment them and like them, and that gives him feedback, so he's in contact with his fans. And then he's attaching it to the physical artwork, so that when the artwork is sold, he actually still gets a royalty. Because the biggest problem for artists is that they typically sell something for not very much.
That's right.
And then 10 years later, a collector makes a lot of money.
Right.
Well, if we can attach an NFT token to the actual physical artwork, guess what? They make a royalty.
Can you walk that through? Because there's a couple things that are very unique about Puerto Rico. One is that there's more artists per capita than anywhere else in the United States. There's more female engineers than anywhere else. So like you combine those two things, more artists per capita and more female engineers, then you probably have a lot of women that might become crypto artists.
Totally.
Can you walk the process through of not 10 years from now, but just today, what's the opportunity for an artist because of this new way of creating crypto collectibles, digital assets, non-fungible tokens, whatever you want to call it?
Well, what it does is it completely breaks down the geographic boundaries that we have. And islands in the middle of the Caribbean are in some way geographically isolated physically.
Yes.
And you can't catch a subway from Fifth Avenue here, but you can to Greenwich Village.
Right.
But guess what? If you make this art online as an NFT, anyone anywhere in the world can see it.
Right.
So artists here now have a global distribution channel.
Yes.
So they go to nft.cred, which is our platform, and they add their art to a token. They can then list that on a number of the exchanges. And by the way, we just heard that eBay is getting into the digital collectible space.
That's right.
So that's pretty cool.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Now,
A big deal for people who are geographically isolated particularly.
that makes sense. You know, the gentleman that was with me yesterday, I'm going to try to pull him in again because he has a lot of really special things to share. He helps run the Ethereum Foundation. Just came from North Korea, lives in Singapore.
Yeah.
What he said about Puerto Rico yesterday is he said, you know, I think Puerto Rico is going to become America's Hong Kong.
That's amazing. And that's really cool. I can see that because when you walk the street, you feel the culture.
And there's a lot less regulation.
Yeah.
There's opportunity zones that could end up generating $1 trillion of abundance over the course of the next several decades.
And less uncertainty than in some of the
A lot
Asian
less
cities.
uncertainty than a lot of different, and even if you think about where we're at right now, Old San Juan is a separate island off the island of Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
So there's even more unique elements to this one spot. As you kind of think through the future of art and entertainment, what should musicians be thinking about in Puerto Rico, right? There's a lot of great music that comes that goes beyond the Latin world, right? It goes into all the English-speaking worlds and all through Europe and all of the Americas. When artists, entertainers think about the future of their art as a Puerto Rican musician, and they start to understand the thing that NFTs can do for them as a decentralized world is unfolding before us, what are things that musicians should be mindful of?
Well, the big takeaway is that they can publish now without having to worry about being signed up by a big publishing company. They get global access now by just registering their work on the blockchain through an NFT.
And what do you think that'll look like 10 years down the road?
It'll be vast. It'll be another disruptive tech that puts the artist much more in direct contact with their audience without the middleman in between.
I wonder if that's going to be equally beneficial for both the content creator and the content consumer. Do you think there's more of a benefit for one over the other with this new paradigm?
Well, for the consumer, it gives them access to things that they previously didn't have access to. And the consumer actually ends up being the one who votes, in a way, the things that move to the top of the chart. Right now, there's radio stations and there's all sorts of other things in between, whether people will put it up on iTunes. And so, we are reliant on those middlemen to actually push things through. But if there's a direct contact between the artist and the fans, things will actually go even more quickly than they have in the past.
One thing that you talked about is that people, artists and entertainers, whether it's a painter or a musician or a gamer or a game creator, that they can be compensated over and over and over again. And everybody, no matter what your age, what your gender, your ethnicity, is always mindful of legacy,
Well,
right?
they've got to pay the
Financial
bills,
legacy.
and they've got to pay the bills.
And so in a 10-year time when all this is like progressing, how can people that are in Puerto Rico that are artists or creators, entertainers of some sort, how can they be thinking through their intellectual property, creating something today, selling it, and then it's worth 10 or 100x in the near future? Like, how should they be thinking through this process?
Well, if they publish an NFT today with their work attached to it, and it gets sold to someone else, and they sell it to someone else, and that process goes on for 10 years, guess what? In 10 years' time, that artist will still be making money from the NFT they created today.
It's amazing.
So they're getting a clip every time, and they will be in control of that because they're registering the work of art on the blockchain. They're not relying on someone else to do that.
It's so good. Well, we're going to go to a break in just a moment. I hope you're enjoying the incredible video. That was Eli Bottom, who is the mastermind here on set. Of course, we have our team, Sean Buckley and Jesse Maitland and Brian